Everybody take your seats. The curtain is opening. We've got the Possum Point Players with another stop by this week. We've got Natalie Howard. Natalie, what is the play that you guys have coming up? What have you been working on? We're excited to hear about it.
So I've been assistant directing the 39 Steps at Possum Point Players, and it's a slapstick play comedy featuring 4 actors, and they're all sort of taking on these clown personas in which they switch characters right before the audience's eyes. And it's pretty deceiving, but it's cool to see how the characters just change right before you.
So that's got to be a challenge both from a director's point of view, but also an actor's point of view that, yes, you're playing one role, but it turns out you're actually playing multiple roles sort of in this show. And it kind of starts out as a mystery turned comedy. Yeah,
so not a spoiler, but somebody gets murdered.
Gotcha.
So, not a spoiler, there's going to be death.
There's murder.
But once the main man figures out that this woman has been murdered and that she's keeping a secret for some organization called the 39 Steps, he has decided to take his boring life and try to figure out what it is. And it starts out pretty serious, trying to figure out who killed this woman. But then it turns out you meet all these wacky characters, and it's really fun.
Let me ask you this, because slapstick kind of stuff is different than general stage acting.
Definitely.
How much more challenging, or is it more challenging than what you've done in the past?
I would say that it's really challenging for the actors, especially because comedy's really collaborative more than drama. So you...
timing, I would suppose. You have to have good timing.
Yeah, very good comedic timing, and you have to get really, really committed to whatever you're doing.
Yeah, that's true. So. Yeah, can't back off.
Yeah.
So, what are maybe some of the director challenges for a show like this, where your characters on stage are switching roles sort of right before the audience's eyes, and are also telling this wild, wacky story?
Yeah. So some of the challenges we've had is figuring out where the focus is going to be, because there are a lot of scenes where 3 people are doing 3 completely different things on stage, and so we have to come up with lighting and blocking plans to figure out who's going to be the real focus and who the audience should be keeping their eye on, to keep an eye on the plot, but also add some lighthearted silliness.
Interesting.
And what about your background? How many shows have you done? You're the assistant director here. Is this your first assistant director job? Have you done 10 of them? Take us through.
This is my first anything behind the scenes. I've been performing at community theaters around Delmarva since I was 8. But this is my first time stepping behind the scenes, and I'm having a really wonderful time because the director I'm working with, Braden Swain, is he's a really good mentor. So I'm having a fun time with him.
Good. And I almost wonder, it will, or do you think, starting to break things down from a director's point of view, will that help you on stage as an actor?
Absolutely, because now I'm seeing what they have to put up with and have to figure out.
Wrangle the troops.
Yeah, yeah. The actors we're working with are really, really fantastic and super professional, but it's definitely, it shows you what you don't get to see.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a couple of friends that just in our regular jobs, they go, what are the bosses doing all day? And then they become a boss and it's a lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah.
You told us a little bit. There's murder. There's a mystery.
Yeah.
But if you're somebody that is looking to maybe come watch a play, you just happen to like theater, give us the pitch. Why should somebody come see this specific play?
Well, it definitely keeps you interested. It's super fast-paced, and it's got a whole lot going on, so you will never, ever, ever be bored. And it's guaranteed to make you laugh. It's written hilariously, and the actors are doing a fantastic job at really getting the audience to laugh and pointing them out. We even have conversations with the audience. It's really awesome.
A little bit of breaking the fourth wall there.
Definitely,
for you.
yeah. There is no fourth wall.
So we're all hooked in. We want to know when and where can we come see the show?
Well, it opens on June 6th for those 2 weekends after. You can buy tickets at possumpointplayers.org. You can also call the box office on the website.
So lots of ways that you can get a hold of your tickets to see a show that you don't want to miss. Natalie, is there anything else that we're missing that audiences are going to want to know about the show before they show up?
Well, Possum Point Players is celebrating our 52nd year of performing, and so we're happy to put on another show.
Fantastic. Well, it's going to be a great show. Natalie, thank you so much for coming in and telling us all about it. I know it's going to be hard to keep track of, but it's going to be a very, I think, rewarding one for people to go see.
Definitely.
Well, thanks again for being here today. Coming up, though, we do have some more Coast Life headed your way.